We've got two guests now to tell us how the earnings season panned out and more importantly, what are the stocks that you should be looking at post-earnings season. But before that, we've been telling you about our special contest to celebrate 15 years of CNBC TV 18 and it's time now for the sixth question. Remember, you can answer a simple question and win an invite to the CNBC TV 18 Investor Summit. And the question we're asking at this hour is, which Indian company announced that the number of women employees on their rolls has crossed 1 lakh? Your answer options are A, TCS, B, HUL and C, Infosys. Now, just quickly SMS your answers to INVS space A, B or C to 51818 and win your exclusive invite.
All right, then time to talk about the Q2 earnings in total and find out what stood out in terms of hits and misses. Nischal Maheshwari, Head of Research at EDELWEISS Securities, and Jigar Shah, CEO of Kim Securities, now join in to talk about that. Gentlemen, afternoon. Nischal, let me start with you. On an overall basis, what's your sense? Were the earnings in line, higher than expectations, or did they actually miss the mark?
So, the expectation itself was pretty low from this quarter actually. If you look at the top line itself was only 6% growth was expected. I think there has been some disappointment there. Actually on a Sensex basis, the top line has grown only at around 3%. And overall basis it's grown around 4.5%. So there has been disappointment on that front, but the expectations were low. And that's why you don't see much reaction happening in the market.
Okay, fair enough. Jigar Shah is also with us. Jigar, this time around from the mid-cap space, it was a mixed bag. But we did get some good quality numbers from the likes of, say a Voltas or a Britannia or a Bharat Forge. From the list of mid-caps that you track, which are the ones that you like the most where one can put incremental money into now?
Well, clearly, I think Bharat Forge numbers were outstanding. I think they continue to beat the analyst and investor expectations. The other result in mid-cap, which I really liked and it was surprisingly good, was Eros. I think this media company has been doing considerably well and catching attention now. Some of the other good results I thought were of KPIT, which did pretty well quarter on quarter, and some of the results in the automobile sector were also quite good. I thought the margin performance for Bajaj Auto was extremely good. Similarly, I thought the Maruti numbers were quite good. And also in banks, I think the performance of Federal Bank was quite good, and the other private banks were more or less predictable as they have been posting good results. The result of SBI was quite good, and some of the other government-owned banks like BOB also posted good numbers. So overall, I think these were some of the standout numbers.
Okay, Nischal, let's talk about some individual sectors. PSU banks actually have seen quite a bit, positive reaction to numbers or earnings quality. Are you as optimistic on that pack, or would you say it's time to maybe book some profits there?
I think PSU banks are largely being driven by that expectation of a rate cut, and all of them hold a large debt portfolio basically, which is the SLR. And there's where market is expecting that there is going to be increase in the value of the investment and profitability will go up. But simultaneously, we have to see that their pension liabilities will also go up. So we have to be careful there. But according to our calculations, I think some of the banks were on a net basis after you have actually taken care of the pension liabilities. Some of these banks which will do well are Allahabad Bank, OBC, State Bank of India basically comes on a flattish basis, basically you adjust for the pension liability. So I think some banks will do well basically on that basis. On the asset quality side, I still do not see that they are out of the tunnel. Yes, possibly the bottom has been made, but I think still the pressure is there.
Okay. Jigar, you were talking about some of the auto names that you like Bharat Forge and Bajaj Auto, but the stock of the month clearly has been Ashok Leyland. Of course, today there's some profit taking that you're seeing, but it's been spectacular, the move in the stock as well as the earnings. In terms of a turnaround, what's the sense you're getting about whether one can invest into Ashok Leyland at this price?
Well, we do not have a formal coverage on Ashok Leyland, but clearly I think in an economy which is going to turn around soon, especially the industrial part, which is going to accelerate over the next 2 quarters and then going into the next year when the recovery becomes more pronounced. Companies like Ashok Leyland will benefit a lot, and there are already signs that the demand for heavy trucks will turn around. So Ashok Leyland seems to have done well even before that because of very strong new product launch in the last year or so. So I think in general I would like to remain positive on companies like Ashok Leyland and Swaraj Mazda, etc., who have done quite well in the recent times.
Okay, that's quite interesting. Nischal, oil and gas, what's your view over there? I believe you have ONGC on your radar, but from overall sector point of view, how would you approach that?
Sorry, I missed your question.
Oil and gas and ONGC in particular, Nischal.
So ONGC, we are sort of positive at the current prices, but if you really go back and look at it, on ONGC around $80 is the best price ONGC can, the profitability at becomes the best basically for ONGC, because if the prices go up, then the subsidy goes up, and I'm talking about the oil price goes up, basically the subsidy goes up, and if the oil prices drop, basically then the realization of oil starts coming down. So when we looked at the history of around 20 years for ONGC, basically the best realization is around $80. So if oil continues to remain here, basically I think the profitability of ONGC is going to remain the best. But if oil continues to correct from here, I think ONGC's profitability will be under pressure. So given that the stock has not participated in the current rally, I think it could be interesting to stay invested in the stock.
What about a stock like Gati, Nischal? I mean, this one has been, a multi-bagger in the last 1 year, and now even today as we speak, it's up 5.5%. Is it too late to enter into this rally, or given the boom we are seeing in the e-commerce segment, you can still play some of these logistics stocks?
Well, the valuations are astronomical actually, and really you don't know how, what kind of growth these companies are going to give, because there's no doubt there is huge amount of business out there basically, but to get that business, get the logistics right, and become operational on that, basically I think at least in the closer visibility, I do not see that the numbers improving up to 17 for any of these stocks. So we do not have it under coverage, but that's a broad way we can look at it, that these stocks are run away quite a bit actually, and maybe some profit taking is on the cards.
Okay, Jigar, from the broader market, what earnings in particular stood out for you? If you could give us 4 or 5 names that you thought were really spectacular and that could lead to quite a bit of re-rating going forward.
Well, I think the earnings for Idea were quite positive. So I thought that Idea is a clear preference over Bharti in terms of stock pick within the telecom sector. Second very interesting result was Tata Communication. I think they are continuing to do better and better with every quarter. So within the telecom, these 2 stocks are very interesting. Then again, as I mentioned earlier, in entertainment and media sector, Eros did quite well, and typically this is not a seasonally good quarter for them, but the performance was quite good and they managed to improve the margin. Then I think the other couple of good results were from Bajaj Auto, where I think the margin performance was exceedingly good, and that should further get aided in the second half as they have a better domestic sales. and that of Federal Bank, where we saw a clear decline in slippages and the asset quality coming under control, which can further improve from here onwards. So these are some of the very interesting results, I would say, for the quarter.